All right, 347-709-0655. The lines are closed. I have the iconic Larry Ebony in the building. Say what's up, Larry.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, thanks for tuning in and joining us on the show to give a little bit about ballroom history. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in on the show.
You're very welcome.
All right, Larry. First of all, we want to congratulate you on, many successes and things that's going on. We are acknowledging you on the show tonight, as the Southwest history. So let's give a round of applause for that. Real quick, let's start off with, how was your childhood growing up, at home before we get into the whole ballroom thing?
Well, my childhood growing up at home, I grew up in Brooklyn on Hancock and Ralph. Everything went well. I had a good parents. She was a single parent, raised 5 of us. Pretty much, very much Christian lady. Kept us in church 3 times a week, twice on Sunday. Wow. So I had a lot of rules and regulations. All right. And so my upbringing was very strong. And so until I got a certain age, I started smelling myself, and I thought I was grown.
All right. I know that's right. Okay, but what age did you started discovering yourself?
I discovered myself very young, like 16, because one of my brothers was discovering himself at the same time.
Wow, amazing.
And I was 16 years old, and I didn't know what way to go at that time. But, I played around with neighbors, some other my homeboys and stuff like that. And, I was like a real, I'm not going to say stupid kid, but I really didn't know what time it was, because the first time I experienced something, and when I came, I went and told my mother. And I asked her what was this coming out of me. And so I was very naive at the time.
Wow.
But when I turned 17, I started, really getting attached to ladies, because whoever knew me in New York, they knew I always had a boyfriend and a girlfriend. I used to bring both to the balls.
Wow.
And so for many years, I dated both.
That's amazing. How was that experience for you? Was it difficult? Was it easy?
Well, it was very easy at first, because my kid's mother, she was a lesbian herself. She really introduced me to the life full time. Right. And so after a while, I was getting attracted to certain females and stuff. And so when I really got with her, my 2 sons' mom, it was really, a process, because she taught me how to love. Wow. I didn't know what love was, but she showed me. And so I'm like, if I can love a woman like this, I can love a guy like this.
Wow.
But I need somebody that could be equal to understand each other. So, and I ended up with someone that understood both.
Wow, amazing. So after that, so what came next after that?
Well, what came next after that was I started getting in a lot of trouble. I was the type of person, you couldn't tell me what was around the corner. I had to go around the corner and see for myself. And so my mother, she was very strict. When she had enough, she had enough. So if anybody familiar with New York, you know about Sparford. And so my mother sent me away for a whole year. She sent me to juvenile detention for a whole year. And so when I came home from juvenile detention, that's how I met Richard Sears, the mother of the house, the founder mother of the House of Ebony, was Richard. And so Richard was friends with my brother. And so when I walked in the house, Richard like, who is that? And he's like, that's my baby brother. But I knew the lingo. And I'm like, girl, please, too hard like that. But she like, what? He speaks too? And he hard like that. So we start clicking. And that's how I met Richard, through my brother.
Wow. So that's how you came into the ballroom scene.
Yes, that's how I came. Well, the ballroom, me and Richard met first. And in 1978, we started a house called the House of Angie because I was 5%er. And by me growing up in Brooklyn, I had a lot of 5%er friends. And so I didn't really cut for, feminine boys and girls around me. I was like, I was a blaster. So I always blast the girls when they come down the block, throw bottles, and I was one of them. And so when Richie took me to a ball, I took some of my straight friends with me from the Nation of Islam. They went with us to the ball and stuff. So we named ourselves the House of Banji for a whole year. And then, Richard was the mother. And so we was hanging out at Richard's house because Richard lived 3 blocks from me. She lived on Reed Avenue, and I lived on Hancock. And so we came together, and so we said we needed something so powerful. And the only thing that was in the early 70s was powerful was Ebony, that people acknowledge black people. So that's when we came up with the House of Ebony.
Wow. Speaking of the House of Ebony, give us the full history of the House of New York City's Ebony.
Well, the House of Ebony started in really it came as Ebony in 1978 on Hancock and Ralph, 778 Hancock Street. It was an all Banji house. Like, you could be gay, but you couldn't be spook. And we came about because I just got tired of everybody bashing everybody. And I'm like, a lot of my homeboys mess around and stuff like that. And so we see how they make money and stuff. So Richard was like the nourishment of the house, and I was like the important. I taught my sons how to be productive. I taught them how to get money. I taught them how to stand on their own as individuals. You could be gay, but you don't have to be out here in highlights or put it on the billboard. You could just be yourself and still be accepted. And so it just got to a point that we just wanted to make money. And so, Ebony's known for back in the days, our addiction, our cocaine highs, and our angel dust and stuff like that, and really going through a lot of addiction. And so one night we got really blasted and went down to Christopher Street, and, we started breaking windows. And one night we went to a ball, went to the libation, and after that, the rest was history.
Work. Wow. Now, what did you guys walk at the libation ball?
Well, when I first started walking, I walked in many categories. My categories that I'm known for, besides realness, because I kept realness on the map, I used to walk best man, I used to walk body, high fashion evening wear, nostalgia.
Yes.
And I dominate all the categories that I walk over the years.
Give me some of the categories back that were different from back then to now.
Like nostalgia, futuristic, punk rock, OA. We used to have best women, best dressed man, real females, unpainted face,
work,
natural beauty. Judges back in the day did have napkins and alcohol on the table, wipe your face.
Okay.
So a lot of things has changed from then and now to this era.
Right. Mostly politics, you say?
Very much, because a lot of people don't understand. To me, I look at my family and I look at my lifestyle, where I'm at from then to now. Right. Because for 38 years, I yet have received a check from the House of Ebony.
Ooh. Okay.
And I'm still very full-fledged with my family, and I still interact, I still make decisions for my family. But I have not received a check yet.
Wow. There's a little
So,
saying, a lot of people, they use it as a defense mechanism, when there's shade in the ballroom scene, they be like, well, the house ballroom scene don't pay my bills. So, and, a lot of times when the girls don't get their way, that's one of the, the things they say. So, speak a little bit more on that. Like, what do you really mean by that?
What I mean by that, the ballroom has taught me how to be a family, because my house, I'm closer to a lot of my sons than I'm closer to my own family. They taught me how to be productive. They showed me how to stand on my own, what it to be an individual for myself, to know my own identity. I don't need a trophy to say I'm icon. I don't need a plaque to say I'm legendary or whatever, because today I could stand and say I'm owner of my own company. I give jobs. I write checks. So I don't have to, dress to clarify what ballroom done, but ballroom have taught me to grow up. Because when you get tired of just ballroom, you want to be productive in other things in your life. And to me, a true icon and a legend is productive in their everyday life. That's how I feel. I feel that when you can go out here and walk the ball and come home and pick your key in your door, or hang your clothes after you take them out your garbage bag in your closet, that's over. When you can get on the plane and your credit card says your name, when you're in your hotel, you can sign out at your name, that's over.
Well said.
When you got a job to go to in the morning, that's over. It's not, I don't define myself for a trophy, because I have many of them. I have many plaques. But that don't define me who I am. I define that.
Well, let's go back a little bit into the New York City history.
Well, the New York City history is the foundation of the ballroom, Mecca.
Right.
And to me, New York had lost their taste. When I mean lost their taste, they had lost the funness to the ball. Because we used to go to the ball in New York, and they used to come at 12 at night and check out at 12 in the afternoon. And it was fun. It was fun. Everybody still had fun doing it. Now, it's a lot of good Judies. You can't cut my kid. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's a lot of politics that used to never go on back in the day.
Right.
If you was cut, that's a learning experience to me. If I cut I even cut to my own kids if I'm on a panel. If they're not coming through right, I will cut you. I don't care who you are. And it's just out of experience, you know what I'm saying? And I have been chopped. But it don't make me, to tear up the ballroom or close it down.
Right.
So a lot of times the people have to distinguish. It's just fun at the end of the night. It's fun. If I didn't come through this time, I'll come through next time. I have to do something better. I learn from my mistakes with it.
Wow. Now, when would you say that this, status came into play in the ballroom scene? Do you know?
With the status of icons and legends?
Yeah, when did that come into play in the ballroom scene?
I want to say 15 years ago, because when we started in ballroom, when I started, there was only one mother, one father, and a secretary. That's it.
Work.
And all of these different titles had just came up, I would say, in the last 15 years. Because in the 70s and 80s, it was just one mother and one father. But now you have so many different positions in the house.
Right.
It's hard to define what's what or who to believe what,
Right. Not only that, but, the ballroom scene has expanded out of New York City as well.
Yes, I believe the House of Ebony was the first house to take it to another state, and that was Washington, besides the Jersey Board, because in the early 70s, 80s, they only had one money ball a year, and that was in Jersey.
Ooh.
And we were the first house to have our out-of-state chapter, and that was our chapter in Washington, D.C.
Wow. Amazing. Congratulations, by the way.
Yes, thank you. You know, and over the years, you know, like right now, I believe we're in 12 different states, and I'm also in Russia, Paris, and England.
Wow.